No, he goes pretty quick. Yeah, it was, you were out there for a long time doing that walkthrough. Did you pass?
Yes, we passed!
Yay! Okay, this dog is your typical young, really distracted male. I guess she's got a bitch in heat that's just going out of heat right now, so he's like not, his brain is elsewhere. So that was real typical on the neutral and friendly stranger, what you see with a dog like that. Had mild interest in the people, but he had no avoidance to the people. I mean, he was willing to come aside to them, turn his butt to them. He wasn't worried about the people. He just would rather sniff than interact. The initial can rattle, once again, his brain was elsewhere. He kind of heard it, but he really didn't care too much. But the second he went around and there was an actual visual thing to focus on, he got a little more excited. And he did a pretty strong can investigation, just, you know, like when he came around, oh, can, you know, and so he's pretty strong in that area. Same with the umbrella, wasn't real phased with it. Probably wouldn't have investigated it except she was telling him to investigate it. So he went ahead and was just fine once he was asked to do it. The footing, if you watch that carefully, she did forget to let go of the leash. But in those cases, when the dog is obviously not trying to get off the footing, we'll check the handler error box, but it doesn't affect the dog's passing. If the dog had been straining to get off and the handler wasn't letting it go, then they probably wouldn't pass. And if this dog was not having a problem with the footing, she's used to holding him because he's always pulling. He's an untrained dog in the sense he's never seen an agitator before, so this is kind of typical, what you'll see for nice, mild approach behavior. His beginning on the crossing and the initial come in was exactly what you want to see. He went to the end of the leash, he got taller, his tail went up, his ears went up, he made eye contact, and he was ready to think about doing something. On the attack, the strong part at the end, with an untrained dog, there is that startlement, there is that mild avoidance that they kind of initially jump into because they just haven't been confronted with this picture before. And I always give those dogs a few seconds to recover. I don't know how well an angle you guys have, but like when he backed up, he was not, some avoidant dogs will back up to the owner and literally like put their butt on their knees in their comfort zone. That's usually a pretty avoidant dog. Her dog actually recovered to the point where he was perfectly willing to stay out. He had some mild avoidance still going on. His tail was not up as high as it had been. His ears were a little folded. I mean, he was still in mild avoidance, but he was more approach than avoidant when he recovered. So this is the kind of dog, and he's a young dog. So, you know, with age or any kind of training, the dog would be much stronger. But yeah, so he passed today. He gave more approach than avoidance in that, which is what we'll see. Of course, he had no problems afterwards turning off the aggression.
I saw that.
Immediately went into play.
I saw him try to bribe you too.
Yeah.
That's true. Thanks, Lynn.